Good morning, everyone. This is Nicole Ali. This article comes from Los Angeles Times. It's discussing a potential sidewalk ban proposed by Garcetti, who is the mayor of LA. And the issue is there are a lot of people here in LA who sleep overnight on sidewalks. Now, I haven't done the studies for myself, but as you can see from this picture, this is representative of one person who is a homeless sidewalk sleeper. But from certain areas I travel to throughout LA County, a lot of the people I see, even in the more affluent areas where people have high IQs, a lot of the people on the sidewalks are of the Caucasoid persuasion. Mostly women. I haven't gone up to them and interviewed them or asked them any questions, but from looking at them and from the smell, I would assume they are on drugs. And this is not an opioid I feel nothing video. I do not feel anything. I will say that. I feel nothing. But I can assume that is what is plaguing them, because it is not an epidemic, it is a plague. As Lisa told us the other day, what is it, 50 of them are dying per day. That's over 182,000 a year expected to die this year alone, not counting the previous years. What does this have to do with the sidewalk sleeping? It has a lot to do with the sidewalk sleeping, because many of these people are homeless due to their drug addiction, if they are addicted to drugs. And those who are not addicted to drugs and are just homeless have to deal with those who are homeless and addicted to drugs. So the mayor, Garcetti, wants to change this policy of sidewalk sleeping. 11 years ago, LA officials agreed to stop arresting people who bed down for the night on streets and sidewalks. You can literally drive through Rampart area near downtown LA. You can drive through areas of Koreatown, Chinatown, West Hollywood, Hollywood. The real Aaron Collins can tell you this. You can drive through areas of Northridge, Reseda, Gardena, Long Beach. We were just in Long Beach the other day at dinner, and there were several tents set up on the street, the sidewalks. So they got tired of spending county and state and even sometimes federal money to arrest these people who were sleeping overnight on streets and sidewalks. And then the city built more homeless shelters, more homeless housing, not even just shelters, but housing. They have renovated old motels and hotels and turned them into free, affordable housing for those who are homeless or those who are underemployed. For instance, they may be employed, but they're underemployed because they have nowhere to sleep. They're sleeping in their vehicles, for instance, or at the train station. They have jobs, but they have nowhere to call home. And that was causing a drain on the budget. So the deal ended in a legal battle with Skid Row residents and their advocates, who argue that the law trampled on the rights of homeless people who had nowhere else to go. Now, Mayor Eric Garcetti says enough housing has been built to meet the settlement requirements, clearing the way to enforce the law again. But if LA starts ticketing people under the contested code, it is likely to kick off a new battle with homeless advocates. There's a snowball's chance in hell, wow, that a court will let them enforce that, said Carol Sobel, one of the attorneys who represented Skid Row residents in Jones versus City of Los Angeles. The city will lose in court again. Garcetti, who is weighing a presidential run, has faced growing pressures to address the tent cities that sprawled across LA sidewalks. This spring, he launched plans to spend at least $20 million on new shelters and vowed to boost police patrols and cleanups to prevent encampments near those sites. So Garcetti, I don't remember if he's Democrat or Republican. It really doesn't matter. But he's weighing a presidential run, so he knows that he has to kind of satisfy both sides, so to speak. But the side that he wants to satisfy the most are the LAPD. Whether he's running as a Democrat or a Republican, it doesn't matter. Either way, based on the political climate we live in, he wants to satisfy the police. Those plans, because of course we know police are upholding the system of RWS, and the homeless people do not pay taxes. And we all know how important taxes are here in California. It goes on to say those plans have thrust the Jones settlement back into the spotlight. Neighbors worried about the proposed shelters argue that pact makes it impossible to stop people from camping out near the new facilities. Some homeless advocates and activists, in turn, fear the city is gearing up for a crackdown. So they have signs hearing beds, not sidewalks, are you in? Yeah, basically what's going to happen here eventually is you're going to see a lot more, and I hope this doesn't happen. I really hope that I'm proven wrong. But you're going to see a lot more homeless people get arrested and potentially injured or killed because of this. And I was speaking with a few friends the other day, and we were talking about how the average cost of living in LA County is like $2,700. And it's basically like this. If you don't have it and you're trying to live here, if you don't have the money to live here, you're pretty much going to die. And the system is going to let you wither on the vine. And this has been coming for a while. And people have ignored it or pretended it wasn't happening. And now it's here and people are panicking. One thing I know that is already happening is they already are harming homeless people even more, pushing them out of certain areas, renovating certain areas, and revitalizing buildings that were abandoned at one point. And I'm not saying homeless people need to be up in abandoned buildings. You know, they have the right to renovate those buildings, but they have nowhere to go. And they're going to start rounding them up and putting them somewhere and holding them. And if not, then if they fight back, they'll be injured. You have people who are not homeless who are out here getting killed by the police for doing nothing. They see the homeless as useless eaters. And a useless eater or consumer who doesn't give anything back to the state, you really are useless. So that's just my 2 cents about it. They go on to say here, at a meeting Monday with the Los Angeles Times editorial board, Garcetti said the city would not rush to arrest those sleeping overnight on sidewalks. Yeah, right. But called the law a tool that we have before us that we can and will use. There you go. He just talked out both sides of his mouth. He just said the city would not rush to arrest those sleeping overnight on sidewalks. Then turns around and says the tool is something we can and will use. You see how these people lie? Wow. He also added that the city would enforce the law only if there was a place to go, such as a bed in one of the emergency shelters now being proposed across the city, and would give people time and help with relocating. Yeah, right. Relocating right to jail. Y'all are not kidding. Y'all not fooling nobody. And then they go on and have all this other stuff. This is why also the universal, universal income proposals, they're proposed up in Stockton, California. This is why it's so important for people to discuss these things, because it's a stipend. It's tax-free stipend that will be given to people, not based on income, but I think it's based on tax brackets in certain counties. So average tax bracket of a certain county. And that will be an option. However, you can't get down to the baseline problem. The root of the problem may be a lot of these people are addicted to drugs. So then you'd have to have your treatment programs. This is going to become a big mess. I hope that there is a sane decision that's made at the end of this. I hope that they're not going to be arresting homeless people, especially if they haven't done anything, if they haven't committed a crime. But you never know with these SWSs. You just never know. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. I'll leave the link to this in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. And as always, have a great day and stay safe.